everyone, this is Neil with Wasted Paper here, bringing you another fountain pen review. This time we're looking at a pen from Wancher. They just announced this pen on Instagram and dropped it on their website today, the day I'm actually filming this. They reached out to me to ask if I wanted to be one of the first people to review it. Of course I said yes. I'm actually shocked about the price, and we're going to get to that at the end of this video. Starting off with the box, it's just a black, pretty basic kind of slim box here that says Wancher on top. It is embossed in some gold font, so they're trying to make it a little bit better, but it's a pretty basic box. Inside of the box, you have the pen and you have an ink cartridge. Starting off with the top and bottom finial, both are rounded. You have a nice like cigar kind of shape here. Down from that, the only detail on the cap here is it says Wancher. It looks to be laser engraved on the front. Down from there, you have this metal ring, which just signifies where your cap ends and meets the body. Down from there, more of this resin, and they kept this really minimal, which I am a fan of minimalist pens at times. I think once we get to the end and you hear how much this pen costs, I think you're going to be pretty surprised with the price point. It takes a little over 2 full rotations to uncap the pen. It looks to be resin from the top to bottom on the inside of the cap. The grip section tapers from the back to the front, but the overall length of it is great. This is going to accommodate most hands as far as length goes. It gets a little bit small towards the end, but that's because this is outfitted with a smaller nib, which we'll get into in just a second. The threads right here are completely rounded. These have no sharp or jagged edges to them at all. The step down of the silver right here, there's the tiniest bit of an edge, but it feels like it's also rounded. The nib on this pen is a number 5 nib, and I was told it's actually proprietary, so this is their nib, and it's only their nib. I asked if they were made by Yovo or anything, and they said it's theirs. Pro to that is it's definitely different and unique. The con is going to be most converters are not going to be universal with this. You'll have to get the one that comes with this. And then lastly on this, the feed is plastic. For those curious, it does post and it posts securely. You push the back on and you can feel that kind of intent from the friction. So you know it's on there, but it's not going anywhere. For a pen to post good in my eyes, I really want the cap to be kind of touching my hand right here once it's posted. And this one does it. So it's actually a pretty comfortable writer posted. Unscrewing the pen takes no effort at all. And then we are left with a converter, which looks to be unbranded. Let's see here. I was a bit surprised because the threads are so far down there, but this is a threaded converter. I want to point out when I threaded this back, it actually has some really firm threads on here. Like if I hold this grip tight, this converter does not move or actuate at all. Whereas if I use another pen that has a threaded converter, there's always just a little bit of wiggle, but this has literally none at all. I'd have to force it and like try to break it or something. That's really nice. As for the ink, we're going to be going with Horizon Blue from Monteverde. Horizon Blue is a really bright in-your-face blue. It can feather, unfortunately, but with a smaller nib like this, I think I might not have that issue. If I'm gonna go with a Wancher pen, I feel like I should pair it together with something also made in Japan. This is Tomoe River paper. I love these notebooks. Buy them on Amazon. I talk about them a million times. Check them out. When it comes to the writing sample, I had no issues at all. It felt good, it feels smooth. Normally I go with fines on my channel, but I went with a medium because it was a proprietary nib, and I expected coming from Japan, their medium would be a bit finer, their fine would be a bit finer. For a medium from Japan, this writes exactly how I want it to write. As for fast writing, I had no issues at all. As I already said, really wet writer, the feed kept up great. Over here, there's actually a bit of variation. Not a lot. I'm not going to overplay this. I'm so used to metal pieces when they're small like this on a nib being really stiff. This didn't feel like that. There's not a ton, and I'm definitely laying down more ink, of course, but it felt really good. I wouldn't go overboard and, push this thing like crazy, but you can get a little bit out of it. For this size, it's really impressive.
That's what she said.
For my size comparison, I have my Lamy Safari, and instead of going with a custom 823, I'm actually going to be using a Schaefer 100. The body shape of this reminded me of this pen a bit, not a ton, but a little bit, and this has a smaller nib, so I figured this would be a closer comparison. When it comes to length, the Mofu is the smallest pen here, and by a pretty big margin. However, when they're uncapped, it now falls in the center. It's a pretty good length uncapped. I think for me personally, this sits in that really sweet spot where it doesn't feel short at all for my hand size. And when they're posted, it's the smallest pen here. This is where this pen shines. The retail price for this pen, and you're not gonna believe me here, it's $50. I think that's killer. Not many pens are coming in at price points like that. I'm surprised if anything comes out under $100. So 50 bucks to me is great. It comes in 2 colors. This one I have here was the blueberry colorway. It also comes in toffee. I think the toffee colorway looks really good, and if you like browns, that one's definitely going to resonate with you. I felt like the turquoise would stand out so well on camera, so I went with the turquoise one. And again, the nibs on both of these only come in fine or medium. Wancher did give me more information behind the naming of this pen. For starters, it's called the Mofu. Mo has many translations and meanings. Primarily, it relates to literature and writing, and then the second character is Fu, which relates to wind and style. Their intent when putting those two characters together was to symbolize writing freely as the wind itself. And they got the shape from following their Dream Pen line, which you might expect a video for one of those pens in the near future.
Spoiler alert.
And additionally, if you're not aware of this, Wancher has a sub-brand, which is called 111, and this pen is under that sub-brand, and the goal of that is to make a lower barrier of entry for people wanting to get into the fountain pen hobby, which to me, I think is super commendable. As I was saying earlier, most pens nowadays are coming in well over $100 and usually quite a bit more, but having a new pen come out at that under $100 price point, especially something that writes really good and is so unique in its own like niche category, I really applaud them for that. What do I actually have to complain about? Knowing the intent was to make an accessible pen at a lower price point that's still nice and something you want to use and show off, I mean, they accomplished it. Maybe if you had big hands, I think the grip could maybe be a little too narrow for you. It doesn't bother me at all, and the weight is so light. It's not like I feel like I'm tugging a weight around when I'm writing with this. I don't want to gas this up, but I think it might be one of the best pens I've ever reviewed. $50, an entry-level pen that looks fantastic. It's got the name of Wancher behind it. This doesn't feel cheap to me. I really like it. The nib's unique. The flow is fantastic for a smaller nib like this. If you want to get one, I will have a link in the description down below. I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that, but I really like this brand and I want to thank them personally for supplying me with this pen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. The grip section, oh God, it was rolling away. However, when they're uncapped, it actually becomes the biggest. What are you saying? I like browns, but I felt like this turquoise, is that a word?